We will be right back with Vincent Price and something a little scary.
Here is the master of the macabre, a man who has starred in dozens of horror movies, Vincent Price.
Webster describes evil as anything that causes harm, pain, misery, disaster. Well, then why is there evil in the world today? That's the next question that we would like to ask. But first, let's take a look at evil, Hollywood style.
Remember those good old horror movies? Did you ever wonder how those torches managed to stay lit after centuries in a sealed tomb? And the villain was so bizarre, you just had to like it. In those days, going to the movies was always a bigger-than-life experience. And the theater owners sold tons and tons of popcorn, bonbons, and jujubes. Oh, I love those jujubes. They always stuck to your teeth. And the music always let you know when the scary part was coming. Sometimes it was hard to tell where the story left off and where your own fantasies began. Then there were the monsters. You found yourself wanting to scream, "Get away! Get away! Run! Run!" But would he listen? No. And the monster always seemed to have such clean bandages. And you just couldn't wait for the close-up so you could count the fillings in the victim's teeth.
Years ago, to many people, evil was watching a grade B horror movie, like the one we've just seen. And yet, with the influence of such Hollywood films as The Exorcist, The Omen, and others, a new awareness has overtaken the public. A great number of people now believe that there is such a thing as supernatural evil working behind the scenes 24 hours a day. The presence of demons is no longer something to be laughed about. Is it possible that evil is in the world because of unseen supernatural forces? Or is this too simplistic an answer? What about the horror stories we hear on the 6 o'clock news every day? It seems that evil is all around us and is increasing at a frightening pace. Evil surrounds us, and yet nobody really wants to come face to face with evil. Our third question is, why is there evil in the world?
You were expecting maybe the Mummy? Sorry to disappoint you, but it's just me. You know, for some reason, most of us like to be scared once in a while, as long as there's no real danger behind whatever is scaring us. Just look at how people flock to movies about monsters and murderers. We seem to get a big kick out of villains like Darth Vader and J.R. Ewing and other nasty people or creatures. Don't we, Pat?
We do. It's amazing how we like fiction. But when it's real, and there is real evil, we don't like it so much.
Pat, why is there evil in the world?
You remember there was a radio show called The Shadow?
Oh, right.
And it started off, what evil lurks in the heart of man? And once again, we're going to ask God why there's evil in the world. And here's what he had to say in the book of Genesis. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And I want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, some of the things that men have done and are doing right now to one another because of the evil of their heart. Yes, there is evil, and men and women are often the major cause. You might remember Flip Wilson, the terrific comic a few years ago, who kept saying, "The devil made me do it." Well, there's another source of evil in our world, and we can't overlook it. And here again, as we ask God about the source of evil, is what he says, this time through the Apostle Paul. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. In other words, there is a spiritual army that we've seen in movies like The Exorcist. Yes, demons. And looking to that book of the end, the book of Revelation, here's how God describes the enemy. And the great dragon was thrown down, the serpent of old, who is called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. Evil is real. Evil is not just the absence of good. And there is evil marched and marshaled against you and me. But once again, there is hope. Anita?
More after this.
Stay tuned for Tony Danza and Dorian Harewood. You're watching Don't Ask Me, Ask God. Questions in this television special are from a Gallop Poll survey of people from across the country. The Gallop Poll asked each person, if you could ask God just one question, what would it be?